Ah, goodness, where am I now? This doesn't appear to be Lord Memphis' estate. Where am I? Ah, mighty heroes indeed. Perhaps you could use some assistance from a brave and honorable knight? Greetings once more, my lords and ladies. It is I, Sir Memphis, noble knight errant of the Curry Kingdom, welcoming thee to the 100 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where every day for 100 days, we duel with a different deck every single day. Today, we find ourselves once more in the week of Highlander, where we shall be dueling with decks where every card in our deck is as one. One heart, one mind, one copy of every card. And today is the second day of Highlander week, well, we should be taking a look at a deck that was loosely requested by one of you, my lords and ladies at home. It was recommended by Mr. Spicy Boy. I guess it's a young man who wished to, participate in the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! So we are playing a deck requested by them, and that is a deck focused around, if I can even find out there it is. This thing, the Chaos Necromancer. Now, normally, Mr. Spicy Boy would be censored for making us play a card based around an evil wizard. But this is a card game, so we'll let him off with a light bit of jail time. And that'll be later. But for now, we have ourselves a deck that's all about sending our monsters to our graveyard, putting as many monsters in our graveyard as humanly possible, and getting this monster to become very powerful. So we have our deck here today combining many different archetypes and many different cards. It's hard to tell you all of them. There's these skull monsters. There is a dragon, and the cards that go with it. The return of the Horus, so we know they are welcome. These dangerous creatures are as well in here, and these creatures in boxes and bird women, harpies, evil wicked harpies. So it's a bit of a suspect deck, but we shall be taking it forth regardless into Ye Olden EDO Pro, showing off the combos and Ye Olden wombos, what do's and what not do's, and having ourselves a most pleasant time. So as always, the full deck shall be at the end. For now, let us journey forth and see what this deck brings to us. Verily, my lords and ladies, I welcome thee to the first joust of the day. And with our deck, we shall be attempting to go second when possible. Well, we have many cards that work with going second. Our opening hand is quite good. We have several cards that allow us to do everything we wish to do. And my opponent, what is it doing? Oh, I can add any card I wish from my deck to my, okay, very well. I might as well, where is it? I shall search for the monster that this deck is based around. Since my opponent was so kindly to do that, I shall do so. The Chaos Necromancer is quite the powerful card. Well, as much as I despise it, it does gain 300 attack for every monster in my grave. So long as I can get many a monster in my grave, this will be good. Now what can my opponents do? What is this doing? Arcana Force. What is this? What on earth is an Arcana Force? That's some sort of foreign army or something. Possibly. Quite possibly. Very well. Head's effect, you summon another monster. Very well. You certainly have quite a few monsters, I'll tell you that. Every time your opponent summons a monster, summon an Arcana from the hand. I see. Or I don't see. Now you have this creature, the Chaos Ruler. But clearly this is a force of evil. If you're playing a monster that looks like that, and a name like that, it must be a force of evil. Regardless, what else are you going to do? The Wave of Light. Now that looks like a demon to me. 100%. 100%. It doesn't really matter to me at this point, because like I said, all I really need to do is start sending my monsters to the graveyard, and I'll be fine. I have the Foolish Burial spell, which is quite good in this deck. Quite good indeed. And, let's see. The Sun. What will that do? Set a spell that has a coin tossing effect. Summon an Arcana monster from the deck. I mean, my opponent is summoning forth quite a few monsters, but do any of them actually... What do they do? I mean, he's summoning forth quite a few monsters. I can't deny that. But that seems to be all that they're doing. Very well. The Empress. The Fiend. Getting out of the field spell again. Is there a point to having another one? Perhaps there is. I'm not certain. But you'll summon forth another of these Chaos Rulers. And that will allow you to summon yet another monster. Or potentially getting another card from your deck to the hand, depending on what you wish to do. Level 10 Arcana monster from hand or deck, ignoring its conditions. Summoning forth this creature, the Dark Ruler. Fascinating. Very well. Now it is our turn, finally. Good. I shall start forth by activating my Foolish Burial spell. With this, I shall send a monster from my deck to the grave, and I shall send this one, the White Baking. With the White Baking's effect, I might search forth two of mine Skull Servant cards, such as the Moisa Knight, and, let's see, mine White Lord. But then I must discard a card from mine hand. The card I shall be discarding from mine hand shall be... I shall send forth the Danger Jackalope. But when it is discarded, I might search another monster to mine board. I shall summon forth the Dangerous Bigfoot. So, having done all that, we shall use our Glory of Horus. We don't need Wear Off Thou anymore, because we already have the Chaos Necromancer. We shall get our King's Sarcophagus, and draw another card. Very well. So, with that, much as we did before, in yesterday's duels, we shall be going forth for our Horus monsters. Sending forth our cards to our graves, because I really need to get rid of that monster, or it is quite powerful. I need to be careful about it. So let's see, let's discard this one, send another one. I do have my Moisa Knight, however, I'm locked into summoning or only attacking with zombified creatures, if I happen to use it, so I'm not going to be using it just yet. Perhaps later. Perchance. But this will work just fine. Let's go ahead and bring back all these Horus monsters. We will be sending many of them to the grave, of course, because we do need to summon forth the Necromancer. Perchance not as strong as he could be, but it will still be quite potent. So summon forth all of our monsters. As we do. Let's see here. I'm getting rid of two of these, but leave the third. What does this do? Alright. Very well. Let us go forth for battles for now. We shall go ahead and use our, this one. I still don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. But we'll attack one of our opponent's monsters. We will not use the effect of the sarcophagus yet. That will be for this one. This is the one I should get rid of because it is quite large. We'll get rid of two of my opponent's cards. We shall summon forth. The Undead Vampire is quite the prize. Very well. Why not? We shall summon forth the Undead Vampire. But when this monster is on my board... Wait, can I not use your effect? Why can I not use your effect? Something is preventing me from... Let's see. Something prevents me from using the vampire, which is unfortunate, but that's... neither here nor there. I suppose I should just cut my losses here. For now. Nah. We must do more. We shall summon forth the Moisa Knight for later. And we shall summon forth more creatures. I need to get rid of my opponent's cards, actually. Let's go ahead and send two of our cards to yonder graveyard. We shall summon forth this, the Nightmare's Phoenix. Something is preventing me from using my card effects. What is doing that? Is it this? Quite strange. Quite strange indeed. For some reason, I'm not entirely certain now. Let's see. you know what? It must be one of the cards I played earlier, actually. Was it white bake? No, it wouldn't be the baking monster. Something strange is going on. I'm not sure why I'm not allowed to do things, but I'm not. But that's fine, I suppose. I still have my sarcophagus. I still have my 2 monsters upon my board. And next turn I might use the zombie vampire, and even if I don't, it doesn't really matter that much. He was mostly just here to send more cards to the Yonder Grave, which will be our strategy for next turn. It's just to get as many monsters as we can to the grave. So we might go for our Necromancer. Very well. Going for the sun again. I'm just very confused as to why I was not allowed to do anything. Wait a minute. No, it wouldn't be that either. Very strange. Very strange indeed. I suppose at the end of the day it doesn't matter that much, but it's just very confusing to me. Just a little bit. Alright. So you'll summon forth your monsters again. That is quite potent. But none of them seem to be strong enough to get around my monsters, indeed. We'll see. What is this? The world itself? My goodness. And you summon forth this creature again. How many times are you going to summon the same monster over and over again? I suppose that answers the question. Very well. The Light Ruler. With this monster, choose a monster. Card a card in your graveyard and get it to your hand. Quite potent indeed. And I have left myself open for that to use its effect. I believe he will gain life points if he destroys my monsters. So, not ideal, but I don't see myself losing this turn by any means. Not by any means do I see myself losing here. Let's just see what we go from there. Again with... Let's see, what is it? Toss a coin. Oh! He needs to keep tossing the coins, otherwise this will stop working. I see. And you're going to normal summon an Arcana monster, such as this one, the World. Alright, what does the World do? Send 2 monsters you control the graveyard to skip your opponent's turn? That's absolutely absurd. That is quite absurd indeed. Let's be gaining all these life points. Well, this is not necessarily good. I mean, the thing is, he will have to remove both of his monsters to do that. But I will still have a turn. Provided my opponent simply doesn't surrender, which is possible. I will still be able to go for my Necromancer, though. So, we shall see. We shall see indeed. Now what can you do? You've certainly shown off these Arcana boss cards, sir. But is it enough? Is it enough? We'll find out. Let's see. Add a card from the grave to the hand with a coin toss. Okay, so recover any of your monsters. Understood. Understood. Getting the sun. Well, I suppose it's a strange feeling here. It is quite strange. My opponent is playing cards with clearly demonic references, but they also praise the sun. Hard to say. What is this? Hecatrice. Oh, what was that card? Hall of the Fallen, you say? The only Hall of the Fallen is up in heaven above. I don't know what you're doing. Well, what is it? See, the sun. That's another card with a coin tossing effect. Very well. Very well indeed. I mean, my opponent is certainly putting in the effort. I have to commend them for that. I must commend them for doing so. Regrettably, though, thanks to my sarcophagus, nothing he summons will be able to beat over my monsters, for they are too strong. Valhalla the Hall of Fallen. Summoning a fairy from the hand, you say. Another sun. Very well. What? Oh, he destroyed all my spells. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, luckily I will get to draw more cards, thanks to this one. But I was rather hoping to keep that. Well, regardless. Let's see what we get into our hand. Let's see. I shall... I wish I had my vampire again, but that's fine. I think that's fine. Here's what we are going to have to do. Let's see. Target a skull servant. Can only special summon zombies. That seems reasonable. I shall activate the White Master spell. With this, I can revive mine White Baking from mine grave by sending the Princeling to the graveyard. This, in turn, will put more of my monsters into mine grave, which is what we want to do, if you hadn't noticed. If you hadn't noticed, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Let's see. Oh, but I can... Yes, that's right, only zombie monsters. That's fine. That's fine indeed. I shall activate my Monster Gate. This way I can send some more monsters to my graveyard. Very good. So now White Baking will activate its effect. I shall search out some more cards, like the King and the Princess, and then send one to the graveyard. In this case being the King of Skull Servants. I shall activate mine White Princess, and shall activate the White Lord, sending it to the grave to mill more cards from mine deck. 8 of them, in fact. Very good. Now, that monster will not be summoned, but that's fine. Let us summon forth our monster most powerful, the Chaos Necromancer. It has 7,500 attack points. Quite a lot of attack points. We shall also use the White Lord to revive the King of Skulls. This will make our Necromancer slightly weaker, but give us 2 powerful monsters instead of 1. Lastly, we shall summon forth our old friend, Lancelot, Ghost Knight of the Underworld. Indeed. And that, my friend, will spell your doom. For I can attack directly with mine Lancelot and destroy your monster right away. And with that, I'm afraid the duel has come to a conclusion. It was a very well fought duel, truly, truly, but we have summoned forth our Necromancer, most potent, and laid our opponent low. So now let us go forth for the second duel, and show more of the cards in the deck. We've shown the proof of the concept. That is what we want to see on the board. But that's just the start. Let's go for the next cards. Verily, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the second joust of the day. It's time once more to go second and take what our opponent has and send it right back at them. Our opening hand is quite good. I already have mine Chaos Necromancer. Everything's looking good right off the bat. What is this? A witch? Well, we know how to deal with witches. That we do. What on earth is it? Sinful spoils of the White Forest. Is that your base of operations, this White Forest? Will you perforate your villainy? Quite possibly. Let's see here. I shall activate the Mimighoul's Dungeon. This is one of the many engines in our deck. It allows me to put level 1 monsters upon my board. What does this do? Summon a Magistus or Witch. More witches! More witches indeed. It's a coven of witches. Very well. My opponent has this Witchcrafter Schmitha? Schmitha? I don't know what it is, but that's what it is. It's a witch. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter what kind of witch. But we're going to activate our Mimighoul Dungeon. Mimighoul. What did I say? Mimighoul. Yeah. But this will allow us to get a monster from our deck to our hand. In this case, we shall search for the dragon. I know, it's a dragon, but we're going to do that. Because the whole concept of the Mimighouls is that you give them to your opponent face down, and they must flip them face up before they can do anything. And when they do flip them face up, bad things will happen to them. And that's what we want to happen, is for bad things to happen to our opponent right here. But they're playing witches. And witches will never be given any quarter. That's just how it goes. Very well. I shall activate... Do I wish to do... I suppose I do need to do more. Otherwise, my opponent will simply attack with these. What is this doing now? Fusion Summoning. I see. Very well. Into what, perchance? Witchcrafter, Madame... My goodness. What is this? And this allows you to what? Summon forth a monster... more witches. I see. No! Okay, well, you killed the dragon. I guess that's not the worst in the world. I was thinking that would be much worse. Much worse indeed. Very well. And now you're going to get another Witchcrafter card. Get another card. Covenant of Witches, indeed. Alright, very well. Let's use the King's Sarcophagus. We shall be sending a Lightsworn Dragonling. What? No! I actually needed that to work. Well, this is not good. That's not good at all. I will have to resort to my card destruction here. Quite a lot to my card destruction. This monster is quite a bit more powerful than I gave it any credit for. Must be a queen amongst witches. Not really any other explanation to it. Destroys cards, summons witches, adds witches. Truly a ghastly thought. Very well, but we have more Mimighouls. So we'll special summon it to my opponent's board. Remember, they still have to flip all of their monsters face up before they can do any other summons. So while this isn't an ideal situation, we shall see where this goes. Regrettably, these witches seem to have caught me a little unprepared and a little unawares. I'd rather not be unprepared and unawares, but here we are. What is it doing now? Now you'll destroy my bird. Alright. I mean, I can live with that, I suppose. Let's see. Well, this is a tricky thing, because my opponent can still attack with these monsters. As long as they can keep playing their spells, like the nasty witches they are, they're going to be keeping attacking me and destroying my cards. This is not an ideal thing. I was surprised they didn't destroy my dungeon. But I suppose they had a reason for doing that. I'm not certain. But now that they flipped up my armor, the armor will come to my side of the field, and my Mimighouls cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Quite useful. Quite useful indeed. Also, because of mine field, all of my monsters will gain quite a bit of attack. Attack equal to their defense during the turn that they happen to be summoned for. Ouch. But I did quite a bit of damage, not gonna lie. I did quite a bit of damage, but at the end of the day, I'm still alive. Oh. Okay, perchance I'm not quite as alive as I'd hoped I'd be. Alright, well, unfortunately, my opponent left this other monster face down. Makes me wonder why they didn't flip that one face up. Was it simply out of spite, perhaps? Hard to say. Hard to say, indeed. But they will continue to summon forth that covenant of witches. We may have to fall back. Our losses are too great. Much as I hate the idea of leaving witches alive, I think we might be up against a wall, gentlemen. I think perchance so. Much as I hate to admit it, but it's an awful thing to say. I shall activate my Mimighoul dungeon to at least attempt to interrupt some of what my opponent will do. Suppose that is quite the potent spell. Quite the nasty one, too. I shall summon forth mine Raiden, Hand of Lightsworn. In an attempt to at least do some form of damage. But my opponent will not. They are sending the spirits against me now. Regrettably, nothing else I can really do. I can't destroy his monsters, but I will strike at them anyway. You can't stop me from striking your monsters. That's just how it goes. I will kill at least one witch today. Or attempt to, anyway. I will give a witch a mild discomfort. Let's put it that way. Regardless, I'm sorry to say, I think we've lost this time. We're going to have to pull back and prepare ourselves to fight witches again. For now, we'll let them live. We'll let them live. That's just how it goes. That's how I'll say it. Hey, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the third duel of the day. Picking ourselves up after a rather unfortunate defeat at the hands of witches. Well, we shall see where this goes. Let's see here. Let us activate first our Foolish Burial spell, where we can send cards from our deck to our grave and see what sort of stratagems we can come up with. Let me think here. I don't have anything to get my Mimighoul cards prepared just yet, so in likelihood we shall be starting off with our Skull Servant cards. This ought to work. I also have my Knight, and I have the Servant, so... indeed. So we shall search forth the White Lord and the White Prince, sending forth the Prince to yonder grave. That way, as we do with this deck as always, just get our monsters into the graveyard. That is ultimately all we really need to focus on. Let's see here. I shall summon forth the Moissanite, upon which I shall search out my White Masters. This way I can get even more cards sent into my grave, have a board set up for my first turn. It won't be the most impressive card in the world, but it will be a start. So we shall revive ourselves. Reviving the lady in white, but she will give us some defense. We shall send the princess to the grave. Very good. Very good indeed. Oh. Maybe. I think this will work. We shall use the Vampire Sucker here. Quite the ghastly creature indeed, but it will allow me to draw more cards as soon as I use my White Lord. Shall mill even more cards from my deck to the grave. 7 of them, in fact. No, I said 7 of them, in fact. With any luck, we'll mill something that I can use quite efficiently. Let's see here. I seem to revive a monster from my grave of the zombified variety. Do I have anything else I can summon for? Not at the moment. Not at the moment, but that's quite alright. We shall use our Lightsworn. Let's see. Excluding 3 of these. And a 4th, we'll have 1, 2. Not an ideal number to have. But we'll see. I shall revive my lady in white once more. She will protect my weak zombies, as zombies are weak and need to be protected, of course. And we'll use the White Prince. While we will lose some of the cards in our grave, I do need to have more cards upon my board. We shall summon forth the King of Skulls. It will not be the strongest it could possibly be, but it is a start. And with that, we shall end our turn. So, while it may not be the most impressive turn, it's a start to things. I have some defense, and I have some offense. I'm going at it cautiously. Last time I charged in quite roughly, and I need to re-earn respect with the king. I won't be able to do that if I get attacked by witches again, or blindsided by dragons, or brigands, or any number of horrible things. What is this? 1,000 Eyes Restrict. What on earth is this? You've stolen the lady! I mean, she was a pile of bones, but you stole the lady. How could you do this? How could you do something so cruel? Very well, this 1,000 restrict creature. What on earth is this? Battery Man Fuel Cell. Very well. My monster's stronger than yours now, just for the record, but alright. I'm surprised they didn't do that to my king, but what have you may. So this is... not certain what this is yet. It's kind of hard to tell. But we'll find out soon enough. Alright. Oh! There it is. There is my card. Let's see here. We shall activate the 1-for-1 spell. And with that... Because normally I use the slime to get other things. So I think I will... Actually, no. Yes. Okay, so we're going to send the Mimighoul armor to the grave. We shall summon forth a level 1 monster from our deck. There are many things we could search out, naturally. But, of course, this is a deck around the Chaos Necromancer. So that is what we shall go for. Shall also normal summon this, the Mimighoul's Dragon. Ain't saying it, but we're going to have to trust this dragon. At least it's a small one. Let's see. Summon a Mimighoul from hand. Now, I shall get the Mimighoul's Dungeon. That way I can summon forth my monsters to my opponent's board and trick them. And we shall do that. So Mimighoul's Dungeon. I'll search out another monster. Let's see. Can I summon forth this creature now? No. But I can get other things. So we'll get the... this one. Mimighoul Cerberus. We will be battle before we do anything else. Because obviously I'm going to give my opponent these monsters before we do battle. Or after, I should say. We're going to do it after. I would only do it before if I intended to destroy my own monsters. Whoever said I wanted to do that? Surely you jest. Surely. Alright. Well, we'll attack our opponent with all of our monsters. So enter the main phase of the second. and we shall activate the effect of our 2 Mimighoul monsters, putting them to our opponent's board, and they won't be able to summon anything until they flip these face up and activate their effects. Very well. Very good. Alright, is there anything else I'd like to summon for? Let me think. Add a Mimighoul card. Face up cards. You put them up face down cards. Well, I could summon forth this card. Sure. I shall summon forth this bird woman. The bird woman does have the ability to return monsters on my opponent's board back to their hands if they happen to special summon them. So it'll give me some protection against that, and my opponent has to draw 2 cards. Is that what that spell did before? What does this do? Can activate monster effects in the hand. Draw 2 cards instead of 1 during the draw. Ah, I see. And you get, what was that, 2 summons? An evil magical stone, but I cannot deny the power of such a thing at the same time. Alright. You've sent another monster to thy grave. What on earth is that? Not certain. Let's see. Ah, okay. So he can still special summon his monster, but they can't attack so long as I have my dungeon aboard. So long as my dungeon is afoot, and anything special summoned cannot do its thing. And he can't normal summon again until he reveals these monsters. Now they flipped up the Mimighoul Cerberus. It will return to my board by banishing 3 of my opponent's cards. And if he sends a monster, he has to give it to me. Very good. Alright. I don't know what I'll do with this, but I have it. Let's see. No, I don't want to return that. Thank you. Thank you, but no. I'm fine. Alright, so now the Mimighoul Slime. Unfortunately, let's see. I get to summon a monster from my deck here. So we'll get me another monster. So yes, we'll summon forth the master of all Mimighouls. It is quite powerful, for it will also search us out a card. This also destroyed my slime, which is perfectly fine, because that'll make my Necromancer stronger. But now what can they do? Because this can't attack. What is this? The Monarch Stormforth. Tribute a monster opponent controls even though you don't control it. Well, confound it. That is unfortunate, I suppose. What is... oh, yes, my bird has another effect. That's right. What does it do again? Target a Lyrilusc in the grave and add to the hand. Sure. Why not? I see no reason not to get a card back, other than losing 300 attack points. But I think I'll live. I think so. Alright. And I will get forth mine own token. Thank you. Now, granted, you also get a token, but I don't think it matters too much. I don't think it'll matter with all that much. Very well. What on earth is that? Thunderclap Sky Wolf. Fascinating. Alright, well, you do have quite a powerful monster there. Unfortunately for you, my monster's bigger. Granted, you can return one of my monsters to my hand, but that only delays the inevitable for you. Only will ever delay the inevitable defeat of you. Now they will attack my monsters, I see. Well, this still can't attack, as far as I recall. My monster cannot be destroyed in battle, so long as I control one of my Mimighouls. So I should be quite well here. Quite well indeed. Next turn, I can start using the cards in my extra deck in order to lay waste to my opponent's board. These battery men. Curious creatures indeed, curious creatures. But unfortunately for them, we're too far prepared for this. Why are you still attacking this? You could have attacked, like, this monster or that monster. I suppose this can attack still. Regardless, doesn't matter. I have plenty of life points left. It doesn't matter that much. Very well. Now what do we do? What will they do now, battery man? Wouldst thou strike me down with something else? I don't think you have anything else. What is this doing now? Select a card, return it to its owner's. Ah, you shall reclaim your monster. Wise. Or possibly not. I suppose it wouldn't matter what he returned to mine hand, so I can understand that. Alright, my turn. Let's see. Let me think. Let me think about this. Many cards we can do here. Many different things. I can revive one of my monsters. Nothing wrong with that. I shall like to make mine White Master. I shall revive the King of Skulls, but he's quite good, and we shall send another monster to the grave to replace it. That way we have that upon our board. Alright, I can't summon except for zombies, but that doesn't matter. I think that's fine. My monsters are quite strong. I think we will do with that. So, unless my opponent has something I'm completely unaware of, this ought to be the end of the duel. Quite a nice back and forth with my opponent. I respect them for trying out these battery men. As such, hold on. I need to make sure that the Necromancer, as much as he doesn't necessarily have to have the final attack, it is the name of the deck, therefore we must attempt it. So, we have reclaimed our honor. We might still need to strike down some witches, but at least we've regained our honor in the eyes of the king by slaying these batterymen. So let us go forth into the end of screen and reveal the deck that we have played today. Verily, my lords and ladies, another fine day of duels here on the 100 days of the Yu-Gi-Oh! And it has been quite a good day. True, we were defeated by witches and dragons, but that's water under the bridge now. We will strike them down later. They can't escape for long. That's just how life works, you know? Knights go out, find witches, slay witches. That's how it goes. But regardless of that, our deck works fairly well. It is a strange assortment of different cards, but by some miracle, the miracle of the Lord above, of course, we are able to make it work. So, thank thee for playing with us today. If thou did enjoy, again, press the like, comment, and subscription button below, so that you'll never forget to watch another episode with us here on the Memphis Accelerate YouTube channel. That's indeed. So here's the deck that we played today. Go forth in the name of the king and try it out yourselves. So again, everything's at one. We have the Skull Servant, the Judgmental Dragon. We have one copy of the Inseti. We have the Orbital Hydralander, the Dangerous Bigfoot. We have I'm sorry, I still don't know your name. We have the Hapai. We have this other one whose name I don't know how to say that one. The Dangerous Nessie, the Wolf, the Mimighoul Master, the Mothman. We have the Banshee. We have Abductor. We have Raiden. We have the White Baking, the Mimighoul Slime, the Cerberus, the Dragon, the Armor, the Lady in White, one Jackalope, one Tsuchinoko, the Princess of Whites, the Lightsworn Archfiend, the Lightsworn Archer. We have Chuppa. We have Lightsworn Dragonling, Lightsworn Sorceress, one Mizuki. We have White Mare. We have White Lord. We have Moissanite. Oh, pardon me. What did I say? Moissanite. We have Lyrilusc, Celestine Wagtail. We have Warbler. We have Swallow, Mimighoul Archfiend, Barrel Canary, Cobalt Sparrow, Chaos Necromancer, the White Prince, the King of Skull Servants. We have Instant Fusion. We have One for One, the Grass That Looks Greener. Of course, we have our Mimighoul Maker, Monster Gate, our Mimighoul Fork. We have Bird Call, Where Art Thou, Jack in the Box, Card Destruction, Foolish Burial, Charge of the Light Brigade, King Sarcophagus, White Master, Zombie World, Walls of the Imperial Tomb, Mimighoul Dungeon, and Gravity Bind. Which I'm not sure what this is for, but it is in there. As for the extra deck, we have things such as Nightmare's Cerberus, Vampire Sucker, Nightmare's Phoenix, and Unicorn. So our Yugioh the Skull Dread, Ensemble Blue Robin, Assembled Nightingale, Recital Starling, Mimighoul's Throne, Mimighoul's Giant, one copy of Minerva the Exalted Lightsworn, one Lancelot, Knight of the Dark World, one Zombie Vampire, one Minerva, and last but certainly not least, one copy of the Independent Nightingale. As for the side deck, there are other Lightsworn monsters like the Proud Paladin Jane. We have things like the Raiko, the Hunter Nog, And there's other engines and things, of course, but that's Highlander in general. There's always other engines you can play. There's also this other Mimighoul we didn't play today, which has its uses, but it ran out of room, basically. So, thank you once again for joining us for another exciting day of Duels and Jousts in Ye Olden Highlander Week. And tomorrow, what does tomorrow's deck look like? We have some form of knights. We have some sort of red armored warriors as well. And whatever that is supposed to be. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it's tomorrow's deck. So until next time, my lords and ladies, I have a most wonderful evening. And until next time, I bid thee a farewell. Take care now.